Okay, so today is kind of random. If you like skating and you like fingerboarding, this video is going to be for you. Either way, it's going to cover some skateboard maintenance and some fingerboard maintenance. I feel like this is not talked about enough, but I had to like change my bearings and whatnot. I wanted to upgrade some things on my fingerboard. So I thought I might as well film it and explain why I'm doing all this. I set this board up probably like a week ago. I've only skated it, I think once or twice, actually, maybe twice. And usually within those few sessions, I'll have to tighten up the hardware just because that might get a little loose, even just screw my rails down or something. And the other thing would just even check my wheels to see if like they're extra jiggly. Was that some of these bearings when I put them on originally were kind of janky. That one's not too bad. That's pretty good actually. That's actually way better than I thought. That's not bad. Actually, I don't know if I have to change my bearings. Oh, this one is bad. See? I knew there was at least one bad one on here. And these are some Bones big ball bearings, and these have lasted me like 4 or 5 months or something. So I'm pretty impressed how long they lasted. I have some Reds bearings that we're going to be switching them out on, but I'm only going to need to do this one wheel, so I'm going to save the rest of the other bearings. But these were pretty smooth. I was actually pretty surprised with these bearings. I don't want to say that they were like a lot faster than Reds, but they were definitely a lot smoother than Reds. And I think they were like a $30 or $35 price point, I want to say. So it's not like you're spending Swiss money on them. Honestly, they're not terrible. They're okay. And then with this board today, I wanted to actually put some rails on this board. I was thinking about changing out the trucks and the wheels. And I was maybe even re-gripping the board. I mean, it sounds like I'm just going to like redo everything on this board. I like this board. The shape is great and everything. So I just want to kind of like update it. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do today. Since we're on the topic of skate maintenance, right now I'm only doing the one wheel. Like I've only skated these wheels a few times, but let's say we were about like a month into skating this board, I would actually switch the wheels around. Like I would rotate them kind of like a car tires, you know what I'm saying? Like this bad boy there, vice versa, you know, do that crisscross applesauce thing. It'll definitely help your wheels like just not cone out one way. Your skateboard wheels are kind of like a car in that sense, so you definitely want to rotate your wheels every once in a while, even just flip them inside out if you want. Like right now my graphics are faced in, just even switching them out helps. Because it is pretty crazy how coned your wheel can get. And so these are the Boardy Cakes 48mm by 99A. These are kind of like my go-to wheels right now. I've been just really loving them. For how small they are, it just keeps it really light. Usually I skate anything under 50mm, and usually the wider the wheel, it'll kind of like compensate for how little it is. So that's why I really like this wheel. The 99A is not bad because it is a little soft. And I think the softness helps with the little wheels. The reason why I've been skating these a lot recently. Here we go, we got some Reds. We just picked these up from Rose Street the other day. And if you're not local, you can shop Rose Street online. I'll leave the link in the bio. Got some Reds right here kind of cooking. Why do those feel like they're like stuck on my truck? Like that didn't sound good. One guy in. I don't know why I thought these bearings came with the little bearing spacers, and like sometimes I'll run those things, especially since like when I skated curbs I used to always run the bearing spacers. I felt like it was anything that can help kind of like take that impact away from the bearings, because I was breaking so many bearings when I was just skating curbs. Just so much of that curb to wheel impact right there, you know. All right, well, and I usually leave a little bit of a jingle. I like to kind of leave it right at the edge of that thing just so like that nut doesn't get stripped. But okay, that wheel's fixed up. This thing sounds good. That sounds good. That sounds good. Cool. Honestly, I'm just gonna keep these bearings like in my skate crate so I have some backups with me now. And the last thing I want to do on my board before we put this thing away is I'm just gonna kind of crank down the hardware real quick and just make sure nothing's loose. Because like already I wouldn't say they're loose right now, but they're definitely can like use a quick little twist, you know what I'm saying? Even a little bit of skating definitely shakes up your trucks and your hardware. I feel like it doesn't settle in till after you get that first session in, if that makes sense. These all actually needed a tiny little turn. Not a ton, but a little something. And I don't know, I just suggest sometimes looking at your board just in case, like of your bearings or of your hardware, especially the hardware, because like even when it rattles, it's annoying or whatever. The worst though is just literally when you lose the hardware though, because then like you're struggling to find a piece or whatever, you know? So anyways, this looks pretty chill. She looks pretty maintained and ready to skate again. So now let's get to the fingerboard. Now we're moving on to some fingerboard maintenance. The reason why I say maintenance is just really to, like, I don't know, check the hardware, add some things. I wanted to throw some rails on. I was considering changing up my trucks, but maybe, maybe not. I might even change the wheels out. I'm not sure. I do want to throw some stickers on this thing before I throw the rails on. I guess really I'm just upgrading my board today. And before we start doing it, I do want to mention this is like my fingerboard, like actual box that I grind, but it's really a marble tray that I got from like Home Goods or something like that. I like to work in here because if like parts go all over the place, it's somewhat contained. So I'm gonna move the camera closer, but I got a little dish of like a few random tools. We got the screwdriver, razor blade and whatnot. My little tackle box of stuff. I guess we're gonna get tinkering with the board. Like adding maybe the sticker and then the rails and then maybe calling it a day could be chill. And these are the Hex trucks, and honestly, I've been using these for a few months now and they've been great, honestly. They turn really good, they grind good. The only reason I would switch to silver is because of the color. I'm kind of over the blue truck. I feel like this board might look totally new and cool again if it had silver trucks and just like a total new look. I guess either way, we need to put the rails on. So I don't know. Would the rails look kind of sick with just like on the like grinded board already be kind of sick? That might be a vibe, honestly. And so I'm gonna put these rails kind of like the way I'd put them on my skateboard. I'd put them in a little bit more because usually on the edge right here is like you'd usually be like, if we're talking skate terms right now, if you put your rails on the edge, that's more for like grabbing your board and you would scratch the middle of your board still. And since I want to do slide tricks with this, I'm gonna move the rails in actually so I don't get any more grind marks in the middle. That's kind of the whole idea. And then I can actually do little board slide tilt into hurricanes and feebles. It should be pretty cool. So I'm gonna like put them in pretty far actually, like as if it was my normal skateboard. I don't know, it's funny because I usually never put stickers on my fingerboard. I'm really still trying to figure this out because I know if I put this down and then I'm gonna want to put the sticker, it's just not gonna work, you know? So that's my dilemma right now. Oh, the sticker looks kind of cool though. Should we put a sticker on it, you think? I guess if we don't like the sticker, we can always take it off, right? All right, let's see what it looks. You know what? That's right. Let's see what this looks like first. I'm gonna do it, guys. I know I'm crazy. So I'm thinking the sticker's gonna look something like this. Oh, I totally messed that up. Don't look. Okay. So the sticker is what I was thinking. Actually, it looks pretty cool already. I'm into it. So when I put the rails on, I've learned to make kind of little mini secure holes before you do it. What I like to do, and it's like what I've learned from some wise people, that the best way to do this is literally making like a pre-hole with a little thumbtack or something kind of will do the trick. I don't want my rails in too far, but I want them in far. So I'm gonna make a little dot right there. And I'm only gonna put 2 screws in. I feel like it's a little excessive to put more on, but I mean, I get why people put all 4 on. It's definitely way more secure. And I don't know, I just don't like putting too many holes in my fingerboard if I don't need to. So I'm putting the first one in, that first screw in there. Dang, the screwdriver's got like grip tape on it. All right, the first screw went in pretty chill. I didn't fully tighten it. You can kind of tell I can still move it around a little bit. I'm gonna go back in and fully tighten that thing down in a minute. But I'm gonna try to straighten this rail out. That looks, honestly, that looks pretty straight. Where'd my little thumbtack go? Of course I picked the white one and can't see it. And doing the little pre-hole really helps because I kind of struggled the first time I ever put rails in and didn't do that. I was like, wow, this really makes a big difference. Okay. Now I'm actually going to fully tighten these down, crank them. And so I got these rails from Chem's FB like years ago. So the fact that these still like hold up and the little screws still hold up is pretty amazing. So I got the one rail in right there. I matched it up with the skateboard decks like in the logo. I don't know if you can see it anymore, but that's kind of where I've been matching it up with. So you guys will see how close the rails actually are when I'm done. All right, that was better than I thought, honestly. I think my rails are actually a little bent now that I'm looking at it. So maybe it's not user error. It might be rail error. And so, oh, do I want to, I mean, I'm kind of over the blue trucks right now, so I might honestly switch them out. So maybe let's do that next. Honestly, I'm going to take this grip tape off, so I'm just going to take it off. All right, so I finally just took the board completely apart, took the grip tape off. You can pick this board up at gooltd.com. I do ride for them, so this is also like the Homies brand, so usually you'll be catching me riding these. This graphic is still out right now, and honestly, I forgot what this shape is called, but he has so many freaking cool shapes, so you guys will see if you guys check out the website. I have some like old dynamic trucks right here, like I was saying, and when you put dynamic trucks on, I've kind of learned that you have to like kind of use the hardware with it and not mix it with the other hardware. These are like really old. These are from like 2018 or 16 or something like that. They're old as hell, so I'm surprised those things are still running. Leave the side. That's kind of cool seeing that. But yeah, maybe I'll leave that. That's kind of fresh, right? I'm going to either hate it or I'll love it. It looks pretty cool, honestly. I'll run it for a little bit. I put it on like my heel flip side, but since it has such a big nose and tail, like it really doesn't matter. So when I grip a board, I usually just kind of like press along the edges. I'll just take a nice little razor blade. This one looks sharper. And then I just kind of just do this around the board. It does not take very long. It only takes a few little swiperooskies. I'm sure there's better other ways to do it, but this is what I do. Should probably be careful if you're not careful with the razor blade. But yeah, I'm just pushing down and against the board, like away from me, obviously, so I don't cut myself. But yeah. Pretty easy, right? I feel like I'm doing this in like record time. Maybe not. Feels like I'm doing it really fast. Okay, gonna put that in my junk pile. Now, like whenever I poke the holes through this thing, I've also learned to use a thumbtack as well. That works really good. And I think these are dynamic hardware. There's like dynamic washers in there, like from here, so I'm assuming that'll be chill. I haven't even lined these up. Okay, yeah, it looks good. Just start my hardware with the top right corner or top left corner, just easier, and then usually the other screws are way easier to do after that. I have some ill pills too. The other ones in here are just like really janky cheap ones, so I'm not gonna even put those on. But I do have these like colored like ill pills, but they are on my other board and I don't want to take another board apart. But actually it might look really sick with these on, so you know what? I might go do that. This has the cool ill pill wheels on it that are like colored. I kind of want to steal these, put them on this board, and I think I might put these white wheels on this board because that would look pretty fresh too. So that's my plan right now. I finally took these wheels off this board, put them on here. It looks pretty cool actually. Oh, I just dropped a nut and thank goodness it was in this little tray, because otherwise then that thing would be a goner. I already know it's gonna feel good. I really like these ill pill wheels. They just sound really nice. They make that nice little skirt sound, you know, that little, you know what I'm saying? Where the other wheels were a little bit more quiet and smooth. These are just like, they even sound louder. Like, you hear that? That sounds so good. It's on how it came out with the little grip tape like that too. Nice little update and change on both the boards. But yeah, I feel like we should go get a few tricks with them, right? Here's the reason why I put the rails so far in. So, when we're skating the parking block, let's say, yeah, I can do board slides and then I can push down into a hurricane. When you have like a normal board, it's a little bit harder to do that. You can, like, the tilt is a little bit harder. You can't push down into it. You have to kind of like jam into that. This, you just have to like push down and turn. So it's a little bit easier to do it. You can do board to feeble. You can do a lot of different combinations with them, so they're just kind of a fun feature to have, and that's kind of why I wanted to put them on. Since I ride rails on my normal skateboard, it only makes sense that they're on my fingerboard. So comment, let me know if you guys use rails on your skateboard or on your fingerboard. And this is your sign for a little skate maintenance. Go tighten that hardware, go make sure everything's dialed in so next time you skate, you're good to go.